California and why I will never move there. In fact, why I now love the Carolinas even more. Stay tuned to the rest of this video because I'm going to share my experience in California and some of the major differences that I saw living as a Californian versus a North and South Carolinian. If you are looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, the good, the bad, everything in between, including South Carolina, haven't forgot about you, you've come to the right channel. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for all the information you didn't know you needed to know. In addition, if you want to get notified every time I post a video, click that notification button and I'll be sure to pop up in your upper right-hand side. Now, I get calls, texts, and emails every single day, literally every day, from people just like you looking to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Well, if that's you, whether it's 9 days or 90 days from now, whether you're moving across the country or just across town, be sure to shoot me a text, email, call, smoke signal, Instagram, Facebook. Find me, I'll find you, and help make your move exactly what you want it to be. So let's dive in. I'm sure you're curious about my experiences in California and I want to share it with you. So many of you who don't follow me on social media on a daily basis don't know this, but I went to California for 10 whole days and it was our first big family vacation. So why were we there? 2 different weddings, starting all the way up in Placerville, California, ending in Temecula, technically flying out of San Diego. So for 10 whole days, we were traveling, experiencing, and seeing California for everything that it has. Now, I will note, I have been to the California area in the past, and I definitely focused more heavily on the national parks, which are not to be missed. They're absolutely beautiful, so definitely check that out. But we were in areas that people live in. We hit San Francisco, we hit Santa Cruz, we hit Monterey, we hit Santa Barbara, we hit literally everything all the way down the coast. And here were my top things that I noticed that you will not find in North Carolina or are different. I'm including South Carolina in that. Number 1, I think you probably already guessed this, but home prices. Holy crap, they are insane. Now, I was hoping that maybe if we were off the beaten path, the prices would be less, but that's not what I found. In fact, I found that homes that were small, off the beaten path, not even in one of the major cities, they were still far more expensive than the Charlotte metro area. That's right, the Charlotte average price point is about $375. Now, that is all of the suburbs and areas intertwined, so it's about $375. But I was finding properties, this is for, I would say, a 3 to 4 bedroom house, maybe 2 to 3 bathrooms in North Carolina. Here's what I was seeing in California. You couldn't find anything less than $500,000. And I'm talking for like a teeny little 3 bedroom, a teeny 2 bedroom, depending upon where we were. And don't even get me started on the prices when we were in a more, I would say, metropolitan area. So for example, we were in Santa Barbara. By the way, shout out, Santa Barbara is beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful town, but not this beautiful. We were pulling down the street, not on the water, still 2 blocks away from the water, no view, no access to the ocean, and it was 1,100 square feet. 1,100 square feet, 3 beds, 2 baths. Take a gander at what the price was. I gagged a little bit when I saw it and I pulled it up because I thought it must have been a misprint, but in fact it wasn't. And no, it wasn't sitting on 5 acres, it was sitting on 0.19 acres. The price was $1.950. $1,950,000 for an 1,100 square foot home. So, side note to those living in California, I know that's not the average price, but it was still mind-blowing for what you can get. I'm going to be doing another video that shows you what you can get for that amount in the Carolinas and for that size, what it would cost in the Carolinas. But I'm going to tell you right now, you can find a home like that on far more property, just as nice, for far less. Honestly, you could get it for less than $400,000. Absolutely mind-blowing. So prices were one thing. Second thing that I found to be very different, the cost of hotels. I know, so not something people think about, But if you are making a move and you're going to be living in the Carolinas, you might have family coming in and you may not want to share a bedroom or bathroom or area with them. But here's the thing that I noticed. The prices for hotels were also astronomically higher than they are here in the Carolinas. Now, it depends upon, of course, what hotel you're looking in, but if you are not getting like a day of or trying to get rid of the room rate, me trying to book these were insane. In fact, in Temecula, we were staying at a very simple hotel. It was an Embassy Suites, not anything too bougie. The cost for the room per night was $350. You can stay in Charlotte for $200 to $250, and that's for a really nice hotel. That was crazy. Number 3, what I noticed. Oh my gosh, traffic. Like traffic everywhere. So I'm gonna give you guys an idea. I grew up in New York. I know what traffic is. I don't live there anymore. Obviously, I don't like traffic. But in Charlotte and the surrounding areas, there is traffic. I'm using air quotes because when compared to California, it is stopping at a stop sign. So the traffic in the Carolinas are very simple and easy. You might have a 5 to 10 minute slowdown during rush hour. If there's an accident, you might have a little bit of a slowdown, but it's not constant. In addition to that, it's very quick to get wherever you need to go. So let's go to the flip side. California, no matter where we went, we were in Sonoma County, bumper to bumper traffic on back roads. We were in San Francisco, bumper to bumper traffic, middle of the day, mind you, on a weekday, going through town, bumper to bumper. Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, Monterey, bumper to bumper traffic. I mean, backups of 25 to 40 minutes that we would sit. And it was constant. And don't get me started on LA. Oh my goodness gracious. We went from the La Brea Tar Pits to Temecula and it took us 3 hours. Mind you, for those that don't live in California or are not accustomed to that area, Temecula is considered a part of LA, like a part of it. It was about 60, I think it was either 60 or 80 miles away. It should not have taken, I think it was 60, should not have taken that long. It should have been a quick hour, maybe hour and a half trip. It was twice that. And we even used some of the HOV lanes to try and get ahead of some of the traffic, and still it took 3 hours. Mind you, we left the center of LA at 3 p.m. I am not a traffic person. So if you are looking to avoid traffic, Charlotte and the surrounding areas are for you. I never sit in traffic, like hardly ever, unless I had an accident or this one little backup that we have on 77 every day. That's like a 5-minute backup. That's it. So that was mind-altering to me. The 4th thing that I noticed when we were on our trip to California is the people. Now, I am not gonna say Californians are rude. What I am gonna say is I've gotten very accustomed and used to the overly friendly nature of North and South Carolinians, meaning when you're walking down the street, you say hello. When you're driving in a car, you wave hi. These are actually normal things in the South, especially in the Carolinas. I brought that to California, and in most cases, it was not reciprocated, not saying people are rude, it's just a different mindset. And mind you, in New York, it's very similar, right? People are not waving to you, they're not saying hi. It's just a difference that I noticed. So if you do enjoy some friendly nature people, the Carolinas are like that. And here's one thing I've noticed about the Carolinas. For those moving from New York or California, or those more metropolitan cities and states, you are gonna find that you will fall into that nature pretty quickly. It's kind of nice, and a lot of my clients are moving from out of state and they do that as well. So it's pretty cool to see. Now, last but certainly not least, what I noticed about California, it's huge. It is a ginormous state. Now in North Carolina, if you went from the west all the way to the east, you could be driving for about 7 hours to get from all the way on the far side of Tennessee all the way to the coast. So about 6 to 7 hours if you take some back roads too. But we traveled almost the entirety of California. Still had more we could have driven, honestly, and it took us days. So the size difference and the population difference are vastly changing. So California, you've got 40 million people. In North Carolina and Charlotte, the metro area, you've got about 1 million people, but in the state of North Carolina, there's about 10 million. Just to give you an idea, it's not gonna take you hours to cross different towns. And here's one last final piece, the weather. So a lot of people love California because it's always sunny, right? Always sunny in California. Here's the challenge with California though, it's very dry. So in North Carolina and South Carolina, we have some humidity. It's not unbearable. It's really not that bad. I actually enjoy it. My skin loves it. But here's the other thing I did notice about that. The lack of rain has created a huge detriment to the water availability in California, especially when growing crops and supporting the cities that are there locally. And there's constantly a battle over water. With this, the depletion of the reservoirs has been absolutely insane. And anybody living in California knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Carolinas don't have that problem. The Carolinas have a huge agricultural center as well as livestock. But with that, we still have plenty of water to go around. Really, because not only does it rain, but we allocate properly. And although we maybe aren't seemingly as green or advanced as California, in fact, we have so many, I'm going to call it green energy, green attributes that are already being employed that also don't put a burden on the people living here. Now, one final note that I will add, we're going to talk about cost of living just real quick. California's cost of living is bananas, not only from the cost of groceries, but also taxes, your home prices. Everything is far more expensive. And yet, while I was there, I didn't see that the cities were any more advanced, any more green, or any cleaner. In fact, LA and San Francisco, in my personal opinion, were quite dirty. And I'm sure there was just the area we were going through. Now, every city has its pros and cons. What I can say about North and South Carolina, our energy costs are low. Solar and green energy and power and options are still available, but the actual costs of goods and services are affordable and our taxes are low, making it a way better living standard. So that was my opinion of my trip and my experience in the California area. I'd love to hear your comparisons down below it too. Make sure you go ahead and click down below and write your comments. And you know how it goes, guys. Whether it's 9 days or 90 days, whether you're moving across the country or just across town, give me a shout. Shoot me an email, a text, hit me with a Zoom link, and I would love to make your move exactly what you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town.